Hey y'all, it's Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and I'm just here for the good news, honey. We are back with another episode of Galactic Gossip. We will be covering from today, Sunday 2/2/2020, all the way through Sunday the 9th. I'm going to go over today because it is a portal opening. It's 2/2/2020, so that's 2/2/22. So we'll go over that a little bit, talk briefly about that. Also, this week we have a supermoon in Leo. We have Venus making a sextile with Saturn and Pluto, which is then also making another sextile to the moon in Taurus today. We'll talk about that. We will talk about Mercury being in its shadow phase, getting ready to station to go retrograde next week. And we will also talk about Venus moving into the sign of Aries. So that's the energy that we are working with, and I will go over that all right now. So let's get started with today. So we have today, Venus is making this. Venus is in Pisces right now, and it's making this sextile with Saturn and Pluto, which in Capricorn, and Saturn and Pluto is also making a sextile to the moon, which is in Taurus. So what does all this mean? So with Venus being in Pisces, that is that divine love, that is that creative, the creative side of things. You know, Pisces is the sign that rules the 12th house, and Pisces is also ruled by Neptune. Neptune rules the illusions. It rules the movies and rules makeup, things that, you know, you can create in a sense of like an illusion, right? And so we also have it with that divine love energy because it's in Venus, and it's making this sextile to Saturn and Pluto. So this happens to bring love and partnerships to the forefront. It also brings forth your possessions and money. So love becomes very important. People take a more grounded and practical approach in their relationships. People are looking for romance, and they are looking for reassurance in their already pre-existing relationships, as well as reassurance within themselves, you know, because self-love is also part of this. Taking action in your business and taking action within money is really favorable today. It's really good with this transit. There's also a possible finance transformation that could happen, or you could just feel really splurgy today, if that's a word. You could be really in the mood to just spend money. So just keep that in mind, because, you know, it's that feel good illusion energy, you know, with Venus being there in Pisces, and it's right there by Neptune. So this can also bring power and stability because we have Pluto and Saturn there. So it's basically allowing this transformation to happen, to bring some stability, to restructure a few things in these areas, in the Venusian era areas that we have in our life. That's the money, the finances, the possessions, the partnerships, relationships, things of that nature. So also, today is 2/2/2020. So number 2 is the number of balance. It's also the number of partnership, divine union. Today is the day of, it's a portal, and it's bringing clarity. It's bringing fortune. It's also a great day to set your intentions for what you would like to have come forth through this portal. It's basically a day where you can dare to dream, right? So just kind of use that energy how you see fit, especially with this week having a full moon, a super full moon in Leo. So we'll get into that soon. Let's see. I think that's all I have down for today. Yes. Okay. So starting tomorrow, we have Mercury moving into the sign of Pisces, and it is going to be in its detriment. It's in, when we say detriment, it's in a sign that it does not like to be in. So it is not at its exaltation. It's not in its most powerful sign. It's not feeling good being in the sign of Pisces. So when it's moving into Pisces, beginning tomorrow, it's also stationing to go. It's getting ready. It's going into a shadow phase, and the shadow phase is basically like the foreshadowing, um, the precursor to the retrograde phase. So it's going into the shadow beginning tomorrow in Pisces, and it's going to be there until March the 10th. So I do have a How to Survive Mercury Retrograde on my website. And I'll provide the link for all of that in the description box. So I do have that information available because, I'm a Gemini, I have Mercury in Gemini. So I am like highly ruled by Mercury. Just a mutable thing here is what y'all see. And with all that, there are certain things that you should just pay attention during a Mercury retrograde. Everybody has, taken a Mercury retrograde and just kind of demonized it, when really it's just a time for you to review. All retrogrades I see as a time to review and reassess and analyze a few things and just kind of retreat and redo the things. And it's just showing you what needs more attention, what needs a revision. And that's what retrogrades are for, to show you how you can improve in these certain areas. And so with Mercury being in Pisces, it's going to kind of put a light on our subconscious, because the Pisces, like I said, Pisces rules the 12th house. 12th house is the house of the subconscious. So it's going to be shining a light on our subconscious, reviewing the things that we have been already like reassessing regarding our subconscious, because it's kind of what this all has been about, these energies and these transits that we've been going through. We've just been restructuring our thought process. So with Mercury already being the ruler of the thought process, and then it's going to be in the house of the subconscious mind. So just be aware that things are going to be kind of brought to the forefront of your mind on what needs to be redone, what needs to be reviewed, how you can possibly look at things in a different light. It's just going to be a lot of undoing during this time. So keep that in mind. That's all the way from the Mercury retrograde actually begins on February 17th and it ends on the 10th. But we are in the shadow phase as of tomorrow. So there could be some things being shown to you, and that's just like the foreshadowing of what's to come. So just take heed of what's being shown to you, start of this week, and you'll kind of have an idea of what the energy is going to hold for you once it actually stations to go retrograde on the 17th. All right, so on the 7th, we have Venus moving into the sign of Aries. Now, this can bring a lot of passion, right? So Aries is the sign that is ruled by planet Mars, and Mars is like, what they like to label as the aggressive planet, the planet of war, but it's also the planet of passion. It's the spirit, it's the first fire sign of the zodiac. So it is the spirit. And so that's what Venus in Aries is going to bring. It's going to bring the spirit and the passion to these Venusian areas of our life. It's going to bring the opportunity to initiate something new, because like I said, Aries is also not only the first fire sign of the zodiac, but it's also the very first sign of the zodiac. So it's the initiator. It's going to bring this energy of possibly initiating new relationships, initiating new ways of obtaining possessions, material things, anything that you possess, and bringing the passion and the spirit to actually have those things, right? And obtain those things and go after what it is that you desire. So that is on the 7th. And then at the end of the week on Sunday, we have this powerful supermoon in Leo. And a supermoon is just basically the moon is really close to the earth. So you feel the energy of the moon a whole lot more than what you normally would with a normal, full moon. So, and it's in Leo. Leo is also a fire sign. And Leo is all about the self-expression. It's the popular sign of the zodiac. It is passion, self-expression, it's creativity, it's joy, it's also romance, it's also children. Um, it's a very bold and passionate sign. So just kind of be expected that people, because the moon rules your emotions. So expect that people could be responding with their emotions, just kind of like bold, passionate, loud, over the top, very grandiose in their emotional expressions and their feelings. And um, there's a lot of energy that's going to come forth with this super moon in Leo. So it's a great day to pay attention to what it is that's coming up to the surface for you regarding your emotions, and just take stock of that, so that way you can determine what it is that you want to keep to move forward through the rest of this year in 2020, and things that you need to release, the emotions that no longer serve you, the thoughts and the feelings that no longer serve you, and that you can release that with this full moon. So yeah, just it's basically a very bold, super full moon. And like with the energy of this entire week, I would say the energy this week is very bold, is very expressive, is very courageous and passionate. So this is going to be a very high energy, high intensity, but fun week. I don't, especially coming from all the energy that we have previously been under, with a lot of transformation, and just it's been kind of grueling getting through January. It seems like we've been in January for 5 months, but whatever. Um, Now that we are here in February, and it's a wonderful time, February is right before we start the spring, March is next month. So this is going to be the last run through the winter season. And um, we have now, it's a time to kind of like get the energy, get the momentum back to get started for spring, because things start blooming in the spring. That is the beginning of the year, basically. Um, by season, it's the beginning of the year. We're not talking about this Gregorian calendar, whatnot, but I digress. So, like I was saying, we will basically feel the energy. We will start getting the momentum to start our spring, start blossoming the things that we have been manifesting, since the fall, or planting the seeds since the fall, and they're now coming to fruition during the spring. And we're starting to build that momentum and feeling that passion and that fire within. So this week is the start of all of that. We have some really great energy, and I'm excited. So I hope y'all are excited about it. So really quickly, I have a few announcements. I'm gonna say my announcements all the time for the very end. But I will be, since we are now in Aquarius season, I do have Aquarius solar returns on a 20% discount for all those Aquarius who have birthdays. You can find the information. The link is provided in my bio. I also will be putting out a full moon post on possibly Saturday, maybe Sunday, because it is Sunday. I'm gonna try and get it out to you all by Saturday, and I will have it sign by sign on what to expect with this full moon, and kind of give you an idea of what you should be focusing on during this full moon based on where this is happening in your chart. I go by rising sign, so you can look for your sun, moon, and rising, but I go by the rising sign because that's the most accurate. First, primary is rising, secondary is the sun, and then the moon, especially for your emotions. So that's happening mostly with the moon on an internal level. So look at it that way. And what other announcements do I have? Oh, I am now doing this full time. I am content creator full time, and I am running House of Chiron as my sole source of everything, right? And this has happened since Friday the 31st. And I will be also documenting a lot of this entrepreneur lifestyle and this road that I am now traveling down, this journey, this path. So you all will see all the things that come with this. And I do not declare this to be easy. I know it's going to be hard, but working for someone else was equally as hard. if not more, you know. So, this is not for everybody. If it was if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But, you know, it is what it is. So I want to share that with you all. And I will be doing a lot of changes. I'm going to be doing a lot of updates on my website. Now that I have the time to focus on these things, I will be doing all of that. I will be giving you all more content, and just, I'm able to get more creative now. My mind is free from other things. Well, now I can focus where I feel passionate about. Yeah, and I'm excited for 2020 to see what's to come. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. This is Gemini Jazz. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye.